We are members of Group R, and I'm in the person of Eunice also assignment.
And I'm Prince of Obuasi.
This assignment focuses on logic and critical thinking. We will cover its definition, importance, barriers, the education paradox, and ways to improve it, including with summary of arguments. Critical thinking is widely regarded as one of the most important skills for personal growth, education, and societal development. It refers to the disciplined process of analyzing, evaluating, and interpreting information in order to make reasoned judgments. Rather than accepting ideas at face value, critical thinkers question assumptions, examine evidence, identify logical fallacy, and remain open to alternate perspectives. Philosophers such as Aristotle and John Dewey view critical thinking as the foundation of rational inquiry. Democratic, emphasizing its role in fostering responsible citizenship and intellectual growth.
In today's world, characterized by rapid technological change, widespread misinformation, and complex social challenges, critical thinking has been more essential than ever. Educational institutions and policymakers frequently promote it as a key learning outcome because it supports innovation, problem solving, and effective decision making. However, despite its recognized importance, many people, including highly educated individuals, often struggle to apply critical thinking consistently in real-life situations. This creates a significant paradox. Although critical thinking is widely taught and considered essential for development, many individuals continue to rely on emotions, personal biases and authority figures, and unexamined assumptions rather than objective reasoning. This challenge is not simply a lack of education, rather, it stems from the interaction between human psychology and educational practice. Modern educational systems often prioritize rote memorization, standardized testing, and the pursuit of credentials over reflective and independent reasoning. As a result, many students may learn to think to succeed in examination, rather to think critically when confronting complex issues. Furthermore, formal education does not eliminate psychological tendencies such as confirmation bias, emotional reason, and a desire to conform to social groups. Even educated individuals may reject evidence that challenge their beliefs or rely on defensive rationalization when their views are threatened.
Therefore, whilst critical thinking is essential for both personal and societal progress, its practice is often hindered by cognitive biases, emotional influence, educational systems that emphasize memorization over analysis, and social pressure that discourage independent thought. Genuinely, critical thinking requires not only formal education, but also intellectual humility, self-discipline, and supportive environments that encourage questioning, reflection, and open and
I go by the name Abdullah Sharifat Sumanu. I'm here to talk about the case for critical thinking, why scholars and policymakers insist it is essential to development. Firstly, education quality. Moving beyond rote memorization, critical thinking helps students question assumptions, interpret data, and construct arguments. This transforms learning into active exploration, producing graduates who can apply knowledge to real-world challenges. Secondly, democratic and societal resilience. Scholars argue that a critical thinking literacy serves as democratic code's immune system. It empowers individuals to question assumptions, evaluate evidence, and actively resist political populism and misinformation. This helps societies with deep divide rather than retreating into ideological chamber. Again, moving past copy and paste solutions. In the past, many development initiatives failed because policymakers simply copied a successful model from one country and pasted it into another without considering local context. Critical thinking forces stakeholders to question assumptions, analyze unique cultural and economic landscape, and avoid systematic bias. Navigating the wicked problems of development. Development challenges like food insecurity, climate adaptation, or system poverty are what sociologists call wicked problems. They have no single cause and no clean permanent solution. Solving them requires adaptive thinking.
I am Asamoah Jesse Collins, and I'll be taking question three, which is cognitive and psychological barriers. So, one of the biggest reasons people struggle to think critically is simply because of how the human brain is wired. Our minds are not naturally designed for deep objective reasoning. They are designed for survival, speed, and comfort. This creates a fundamental tension. between what critical thinking demands and what the brain prefers to do. A good starting point is confirmation bias. People have a natural habit of looking for information that agrees with what they already believe and brushing aside anything that challenges them. What makes this interesting is that educated people are not exempt. If anything, they sometimes become better at justifying wrong beliefs rather than questioning them. Then there is Dunning-Kruger effect. People who do not know much about a topic tend to think they know more than they actually do. Because of this overconfidence, they feel no need to dig deeper or question themselves, which is exactly when critical thinking is mostly needed. The brain also loves shortcuts rather than analyzing every situation carefully. It jumps to quick conclusions based on what feels familiar or what comes to mind easily. These shortcuts save time but often lead to poor reasoning. Thank you.
Section 4, Educational and Social Barriers. Hello everyone, my name is Ade Grace. Today I will be talking about Section 4 of our paper, Emotional and Social Barriers of Critical Thinking. First, rote learning. In Ghana, many exams like Obuasi, BEC ask us to memorize facts we are not trained to ask why or is this true? This is called banking model by Fed. This result is good as many students get good grades but cannot reason well. Secondly, authority difference. In our culture, it seems this like can someone have a degree and still fail to think critically? So surprisingly, the answer is yes. Good day, everyone. I am Anade Intiwa Lodina, and today I am with After Irene A. Sarah. Today we will be discussing the topic why education does not guarantee critical thinking. Many people believe that having a degree automatically makes someone a critical thinker. However, education and critical thinking are not always the same. An educated non-thinker is someone who has academic qualification but does not question information, analyze evidence, or think independently. This often happens because some educational systems focus more on memorization and passing examinations than on reasoning. For example, a doctor, lawyer, or professor may be highly educated but still believe false information on social media without checking the facts. Despite their qualifications, they may fail to think critically about the information they receive. This shows that education alone does not guarantee critical thinking. Credentialism is the belief that certificate and degree determine intelligence and competence. In contrast, intellectual humility is the willingness to admit that we do not know anything and to remain open to new ideas and evidence. Therefore, education alone does not guarantee critical thinking. True critical thinkers are not defined by their qualification, but their ability to question, reason, learn, and despite their qualification, they may fail to think critically about the information they receive. This shows that education alone does not always guarantee critical thinking. Don't worry, that's a chance, my name, and I'm here to talk about pedagogical and societal reforms that encourage a new critical thinking. If critical thinking is essential for development yet difficult to practice, societies must deliberately create conditions that encourage it. To promote genuine critical thinking, education should focus on inquiry, problem solving, and open discussion rather than memorization. People should also be taught to recognize cognitive biases, evaluate information critically, and remain open to changing their views when presented with new evidence. Additionally, society should encourage media literacy, intellectual humility, and a culture that values questioning and respectful debate. Together, these measures can help individuals think more independently and contribute more effectively. And Leda, to wrap things up, let's quickly recap the main points we covered today. Critical thinking remains a vital tool for individual growth, informed decision making, and societal development. However, even educated people may struggle to think critically because of cognitive biases, emotional attachment, social influences, and educational practices that often prioritize memorization over analysis. Overcoming these barriers requires continuous practices, intellectual humanity, and learning environment that encourages questioning, reflection, independent judgment. By cultivating these habits,
Individuals can become more thoughtful citizens and contribute more meaningfully to the progress of society.